A lot of Indian films are known and remembered by its location setting. Different locations become iconic because of these films. Imagine this scene with a different location. Would it still give the same feeling? Message? Would it still support the actor's character? What is it with location that it gives an impact to a film? Why is it important? And what should we know more about it? Location is an anchor to a film, music video, commercials, and other video projects. It sets the mood. It reflects the actor's character.
You've got to make sure that your actors, are comfortable there. So let's say you have a guy, fishing. Your actor, has he ever been fishing in his life? Those are good questions. Maybe he will require a little bit of time, just to even, find out how to hold a fishing rod.
And it's the canvas of the whole film in production.
Locations are very important. As an element of a film or a video, location is very important because it always sets the mood. Aside from the actors, their acting, the music, the sounds, all that, it brings you to a place. Especially if, for example, if it's a period film, you can't shoot a period film in the city where there are buses or cars that are new. A location has to bring you to a place where you actually feel that you're in that kind of time and place.
Hindi basta-basta porket maganda yung location, maganda yung bahay, kukuhanin mo na. Titignan mo rin yung logistic, kung meron bang pagpaparkingan, kung meron bang standby area ang artista para hindi ka naman mapagalitan ng mga residente.
A properly scouted location will be able to help tell a story. A character's room, a character's car. A car also is part also of a location. A character's work area or space help develop the character in the story and help create the diegetic world within the film. A good location has the potential to be an expressive or rather a good canvas for expressing other arts.
With location being an important element of a film, have you considered to scout for these locations?
A location manager basically handles the securing the location and making sure that all the necessary permits for the shoot are acquired and making sure that all the logistics of the film production is organized.
His contribution is very important in serving the story or the script, because without a location, we won't have a place to film in. And yung job niya specifically is to find a location that fits the story.
Here in the Philippines, location managers are more likely also the location scout of a film. A location manager manages the scouted location, while location scouts are the ones who look for locations. A very big production project requires the location scouts to save time in finding a location. In our local setting, location managers are more likely responsible to do both jobs.
There's only one word for it. Terrific.
In a survey that we conducted, 56 participants are familiar with the term location scouts and 45 participants are not familiar, and some are in between, which means there are still some who haven't heard about them. How difficult is the job of a location manager?
I believe it's hard because the location manager has to understand the director's vision and be able to interpret what the scriptwriter demands in the script. And the location has to be applicable for the scenes that they are needed.
Hindi basta-basta rin yung pagkuha ng permit sa location kasi naranasan ko na yan. 3 araw ako sa Nueva Ecija, sa Fort Magsaysay, para lang ako makapag-shoot sa loob ng kampo. Wala akong uwian. Natutulog ako sa van. Nakikiligo ako sa kapitbahay. Sakali lang kami natutulog.
Mahirap. Mahirap talaga siya. Ako, dumadating sa point na ayoko na magtrabaho. Ganon. Dumadating sa point talaga na ako, pag naghanap ako ng location, daw kumakain ng wala akong location. Pati mga assistant ko damay. Pati yung driver damay. Siguro nasanay lang ako na bago ko kumain, gusto ko may i-report ako kung sino man yung dapat kong pag-report na ito may nakita na ako. Kasi sobrang ang stress. Hindi lang mahirap dahil sa nahihirapan kang makita yun kasi ang dahil ng bagay na kinukonsider.
How involved are they during the planning stage?
Ideally, a location manager should be involved in the planning of a production because since the location manager handles the logistics of where the shoot will be done, the location manager should be involved in that. And the location manager should always be involved in from pre-production up until the production time because if there's any problem or any instance that the location has to be changed or if there are any instances that the location has to be there are things that needs to be arranged with regards to the location manager has to be able to coordinate that.
During pre-production, during planning, he or she consults with the director as to how the director sees a specific location. And then he also talks to the cinematographer or with the director of photography because there might be specific lighting requirements or specific camera requirements for a location.
During pre-prod, mahalaga na yung LM agad kasi hindi makakapagsimula hanggat walang location. So ako minsan, yun yung fear ko kasi may mga deadlines may mga schedules. Tapos parang ikaw gagawin sa'yo, meron ka lang 3 araw para maghanap ng location. So sa planning stage pa lang, dapat once na mabasa mo na yung script, binigyan ka ng idea kung ano yung gagawin mo, dapat sa isip mo may naglalaro na saan mo hahanapin yung mga location na yan. Kasi pag hindi ganun, zero ka, hindi mo mag-ocular ka or mag-local ka nang hindi mo alam kung saan ka pupunta.
When does location managers scout for locations?
If the location manager doesn't have a prior list of locations that they can suggest to the director or to the team where to shoot, they would go out if a specific project requires a different or a specific requirement. Like for example, if the project requires to be shot in a mountain where there's I don't know, an old house or something like that. It depends on the requirement of the script and of the video itself. So that's the time when the location managers actually go out.
A film project is nothing without an effective location setting. How does the location for a film is being determined and visualized?
During the planning stage, usually my process would be first to understand. If I didn't write the script, I would have to study the script. So if I have to understand the scenario where the characters would be placed in and how they would be interacting with their environment. If I would be writing the script for the particular video or for a particular project, I would always imagine the character being in a situation or in a place that would highlight the story. So yeah, that's my process. So basically, it all starts from the script, and then from there you just imagine how the story would go and how they would react to the environment.
Locations can make or break your film. It is the location manager's job to consider all the important factors.
So, in my experience, kasi nag-location manager din ako for a couple of TV commercials before. So, ikaw yung maghahanap ng choices, kunyari, based on the storyboard or the concept, choices of locations. Ikaw yung magpa-process ng permits. Ikaw yung makikipag-usap dun sa, from the creative side to the location side. Ano yung mga dadali na gamit, ano yung mga bawal or hindi dapat gawin sa location, etc. So, yun. Basically, payments, permits, and arrangements that concern the location.
Una, that pasok na pasok siya sa kailangan. Pangalawa, kailangan alamin kung magkano yung budget na meron yung isang production. Kasi sabihin sa'yo, kailangan ko ng magandang bahay. Maraming magandang bahay, maraming malaking bahay, pero magkano yung budget nila. So, kailangan malaman kung sa ganitong halaga, pasok na ba pati barangay permits and all. Kasi, bato ka ng bato, pero hindi naman pasok sa budget. So, sayang lang lahat ng effort.
The location manager has to understand what the script requires. The location manager has to know how to break down a script, like which scenes should be done on this location, on which location, and the location manager should understand how the characters involved in the film or in the video would be interacting with the location that they'd be shooting in.
Usually kasi when you talk about public spaces, especially yung mga malls or public parks, ang tagal lang magpa-approve ng location permit. So sometimes you'll get a project wherein you need to finish it at a specific deadline. Tapos kailangan na mag-shoot pero wala pang permit. So pag ganun, syempre medyo hassle siya mag-shoot. Ayun, hindi kayo makapag-shoot hanggat wala kayong permit.
First and foremost, the location manager should make sure that the location is filmable. Okay, when I say filmable, they have to consider a lot of things. First, is there enough light in the location? If I'm shooting a semi-documentary, what are the sources of light? Or even if it's not a documentary, he needs to consider light sources. He needs to know the orientation of the sunlight during the day, from morning from dusk till dawn, from dawn till dusk. And in the evening, he should know what are the artificial light sources coming from lampposts, from the neighbors, because it has to be considered when setting up a shot. Second, the location manager should check if there's enough space to put in artificial lights, film lights, if need be. Is there enough space for generators? Is there enough space around the location, within the location, or about the location? So you can manage your logistics well.
The location manager also has to understand the director's vision, so that he or she would know how to deliver the requirement of the video production.
Definitely, a location manager's job is not easy. More than the factors they must consider in doing their job are the challenges they have to cross.
Mabigla ang problema na hindi mo ina-expect. Katulad, last time may nangyari sa akin, pelikula din yun. May permit ako, hawak ko lahat sa proud ako. Nakapag-shoot tayo. Ginawa ko. Hindi ako yung nag-pull out, mga assistant ko yung nag-pull out. Mga alas 5 na madaling araw, tinatawagan na ako. Ba't wala ka dito? Ganyan-ganyan. Kasi may mga bigla ang problema, mga reklamo ng iba't ibang kapitbahay. Basta hahanapan ka ng yung mga in-expect na ang ingay nyo, madaling araw pa lang na hindi mo in-expect na magiging ganun. Kasi ikaw, alam mo sa sarili mo na bago ka mag-shoot, may permit ka ng hawak and lahat, nakausap mo yung buong neighbor na may shoot, tapos biglang pa isa-isa pa rin talaga magre-reklamo. So yun, ang sakit na agad sa ulo noon. Umaga pa lang yun. So parang ikaw buong maghapon, feeling mo, shit, sana wala nang problema na darating. Ganun. Basta kailangan lang ready ka.
Aside from the challenges they face during production, location managers face a greater challenge in the industry for the spot of getting the proper recognition and credit for their craft.
They're not given enough recognition. Credits, yes, I think. But I don't think they're not given enough recognition. A lot of people don't understand the job of the location manager. And I would say a lot of people doesn't appreciate much the contributions of a location manager.
I mean, they deserve credit, but I don't think they're given enough credit. Pero kasi, I think it's also the notion of people to think na pag pelikula siya, ang kinokomment lang ay yung director or yung mga big names behind the movie. Well, in fact, isang buong team naman talaga yung nag-work towards making sure na maayos yung isang film.
I'm not sure, but I don't think they are. Because if they were, there would be awards given to location managers. But unfortunately, there aren't any. So
Sa akin palagay hindi kami nabibigyan ng credit. Bakit kamo? Kasi sa award, 'di ba? Maganda yung pelikula mo. Meron nagiging nandoon na best actress, best actor, best director. Meron nga best makeup artist Best in prosthetics Bakit walang best in location manager?
Big no. Kasi, yun nga, meron na ba kayo narinig na location manager na best in location? Madalas, best director, best set design. Pero best location, never nyo pa narinig yan. Kahit napakaganda ng location at alam nyong madugo yung location na ginawa, never nagkaroon ng best location manager.
Ako kasi, pag yung PT ay nanalo kunyari ng award, feeling ko isa na ako doon. Kasi hindi nyo naman papaganda yung location na yun. Kung hindi rin maganda, yung location na binigay ko.
I don't think they're given that much credit, unlike the people who do the editing or the sound design. But I think that people should also give due recognition to those people who perform well when it comes to finding good locations.
People have to understand that filmmaking is a collaborative medium. Okay? It's not just the work of a single person. It's not just the work of a director. It's not just even cinematographers. For example, me, it's not just when I frame the camera, because there are, like, for example, in any given set, there are more than 50 people working under my department. So it's not just me, for example, it's everybody's work there. So in the same light, getting to a location and lighting it, and for example, this house, making it look like a museum, I would credit that to the location manager for giving us this location.
Ay, hindi ko sasabihin na they're not given enough importance, pero siguro, I just hope that there's a consciousness every time na when you're leading a production, you always make sure everyone, not only the location manager, but everyone that's part of the team, na-acknowledge sila.
I'm amazed with how they can find seemingly impossible locations. That's a skill that not everybody has.
Now that you know the process of location scouting and you've got to know more about location managers, you now know the master behind a beautiful background of a film.
Nung una kong nakita yung pangalan ko sa viewers, sobrang proud ako sa sarili. Nagpa-post talaga ako sa Facebook. Pero salamatan ko yung mga managers ko na kumuha sa akin. Kasi ganun pala, kapag natapos mo na yung isang pelikula or isang project, feeling mo ang galing mo Kasi kuya, 10-day shooting mo yung meron kayo. Tapos lahat yun, nagawa mo ng, syempre may mga problema, pero natapos mo. Tapos mapapanood ng maraming tao. Talagang feeling proud ka.
A good location manager would have to be very cultured, well-traveled, and these are the type of people that we all would look up to. So, yeah, we should give them importance.